Hello, ladies, and welcome to another wonderful interview. Today is super spicy and super hot because today we get to talk about sexuality and tantra and pleasure and all those amazing things in life. And today we have to greet our wonderful guest speaker. She is phenomenal. Her background, ladies, is so wide. Like, she's a composer, artist, singer, teacher, educator. She is a vagina warrior. I mean, you don't see that on the resume every single day. So I thought it was an amazing thing to say about you. And I want to introduce you, ladies, to Trish, who is here to talk to us about how to bring pleasure to our lives. And let's talk about love and relationships and all that good stuff. Welcome, Trish. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Lenka. Thank you so much for having me. I am so happy to be here because I am always happy to talk about Tantra and sex and orgasm and how amazing it is for your life and just manifesting the life that you want.
Yes, yes, yes. And it is also incredible for our beauty, which this summit is all about. It's about that radiant
Yes.
beauty. And we could not have that without amazing, healthy sex life and wonderful orgasms, right? Because those are super important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm 47, so I like to think that orgasm's really great for for how we age better as we get older.
Yes, yes. So as goddesses, we need to honor our bodies. We need to really nurture our souls, and we do need to cater to our needs, to our desires. Like, it's our responsibility almost, right? And what happens when we do? Not only we look better and we feel amazing, but we have this amazing glow and we smile and everything goes well. Like, ladies, what I'm talking about. So tell us, Trish, please, what exactly is Tantra and how can we learn to practice it?
Ooh, well, the word tantra is a compound Sanskrit word that means an instrument or tool of expansion or
Mm.
liberation. So most people have heard of moksha if you're into yoga and even little bits of tantra here and there. But tantra basically is a tool, an instrument, a system, because there are a few different systems. It is a system of expansion. It is to get you outside of whatever cubbyhole, pigeonhole that you were raised in, that you were taught to believe are your boundaries, and to expand beyond that, to liberate yourself from whatever institutions, systems, paradigms that you were ingrained to subscribe to. Because you don't have to subscribe to anything that doesn't feel right to you. So basically, as I say, Tantra is a way of life. It is not yoga class. It is not something you do at 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It is literally an approach to everything in your life. What is more expansive for you? How do you grow? What expands your knowledge, your love of life, your sense of self as a beautiful, loving, amazing human being, rather than maybe the judgmental, lack and unworthy aspects or image of yourself that you were told or bullied into believing about yourself. Tantra is just so incredible. There are different paths that you can choose, and I am trained in both the Kula, the Shiva path, as well as the Kala Trividya goddess path. And because I'm a Libra, I couldn't decide which one, so I kind of do a little of both. um, but uh, but it's just the most beautiful, wonderful thing to have this foundation of where the foundation actually encourages you to go above and beyond. This instrument tool of expansion, and so that's why Tantra is not just about sex. Although that makes for some incredibly yummy sex, yes, it does. But it just allows you to. It gives yourself permission to expand in all ways of your life, and so that could be abundance on all levels, because the word abundance does not actually mean money, neither does prosperity. So when you want abundance, like the number 19 card, the sun card in the tarot, is that it's abundance on all levels. And so that's going to be love and life and happiness and joy and compassion and following your passions and just, and money. You can make it money too, because I also teach sex magic. But Tantra is just the most beautiful, wonderful system that I have ever seen, eh, that allows you to free yourself from the limitations of whatever indoctrinations you were raised in, that you don't have to subscribe to if you don't want to.
But how does one tap into that? Like, if I was like, wow, I'm like super excited what you just said about what you just said, and how do I find my way to it?
Well, I have a new Sacred Sex Certified Practitioner course that I'm starting,
Hmm.
but you can start by seeing if Tantra is really for you, just by going within yourself and seeing what needs to be healed. What parts of me do I need to expand my own perception of within me?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you start down the road of Tantra, it's going to bring stuff up. This is why a lot of people have Kundalini awakening when they go down the road of Tantra. Is because in the West, we tend to start more with the sex side of Tantra. But when it starts to stir up and break up all of these things that we tamp down or that we numb away with addictions or unhealthy habits, the Tantra is going to bring it all up. And through Tantra, you can learn to love it, because there are several main tenets of Tantra, and they are basically allowing, just allow whatever is, allow, don't fight, don't resist, just allow. A non-judgment, don't judge yourself, don't judge other people, don't judge what is. Non-attachment, don't be attached to the outcome. And this is especially important in sex, because especially here in the West, where we're so climax oriented in our sexual encounters, whether solo sex or partnered sex.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tantra offers so many wonderful, simple yet profound elements that you can add to your life that will literally expand your horizons, expand your perceptions of what life is, what life is supposed to be, what pleasure is supposed to be. Because I teach what pleasure truly is and what it should be. And I'll give you a little secret. This is in my course, but I'll be happy to share it with all y'all fabulous ladies
Please.
here. Is that I differentiate between climax and orgasm, because climax is a physical reflex of the sympathetic nervous system, because it's about the tension. You build up tension in the muscles, the ligaments, tendons, the blood vessels. Everything's very tense because you want that explosion release.
Yes.
And that's exhausting. That's why we're always tired. It's like the guy rolls over and falls asleep. There's a reason why it's exhausting to do that. But orgasm, the word orgasm comes from the Greek orgasmos, which means to swell. So like Tantra, this is about expanding, right? And so with orgasm, it is a state of bliss that you can tap into. It's for women, if you can think of it as climax, is the clitoral orgasm. That's the climax is it's where the clit has that explosive aspect. But a wave orgasm, that's that full body, knees up, toes curled, back arched, head back kind of thing. And you make all these sounds that you've never heard coming from your body before, and you can stay in that. That's orgasm.
Okay.
Orgasm is actually, it is waves and waves and waves of bliss. But what it's allowing you to do is to expand your energy, your physical body, your subtle body, your etheric body. You are literally expanding your energy frequency. Your etheric self is literally vibrating at a whole new level. And so once you learn to tap into that, which is what I teach in my courses, is that you understand that bliss, true happiness, orgasm is a frequency. And you can take orgasm and that feeling of bliss away from the sexual side of things, and like, wow, how can I feel this in my everyday? Well, once you know what to do, as I teach it, is that if you think of like you're walking along, and that there's, like, let's say I'm 5'6". So at 5'8", that's where orgasm is. So whenever I want to feel that expansive, beautiful, energizing frequency of orgasm, I just stand up on my tippy toes and I'm there. And I
Mm.
don't have to do anything. And I don't have to frig off for half an hour. And I damn sure don't need a vibrator. That's the worst thing for sex, by the way. Vibrators are awful. But anyway, but yeah, it's so profound once you can make those shifts in your own awareness, and really just allow your body to teach you the inherent wisdom that comes with this amazing vehicle that we have, because
Mhm.
the body is designed for pleasure, and it's pleasure that lasts for hours and hours, and it's easy, and you get up after 4 hours of orgasms and you're energized and you're ready to do other stuff, unlike climax orgasms, and you're like two or three of those and you're exhausted. You need a nap, but orgasm is a frequency, and you can, once you learn how to access that frequency of pleasure and bliss, you can take it outside of sex and incorporate it into other aspects of your life.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought it up because my next question was pleasure does not only have to come from sex, and we can give ourselves pleasure every single day, and it could be different every single day. As you know, as a matter of fact, I used to have a program that I used to run. It was a challenge. It was a 30-day thing. For a month, we went and we were working on something with ladies who were involved. And part of it was make yourself happy every single day. And how do we do that? By bringing pleasure and doing something sweet for ourselves every single day. And so we focused on that. And so, like, for example, it will be like, okay, today we are all going to wear our best underwear that we can find, right? Like the pretty lacy, sexy, and we are not gonna tell anyone. We're just gonna wear it all day. And so it was like our little secret. And then the next day we would buy ourselves some special chocolate, like the flavor we never tried before. And then the following day we would do something totally different. And it was like every single day we tried something else, and we had so much fun with that. And at the end of the month you feel like this was the best month ever. It felt like vacation. It was just like
That's
so awesome,
wonderful.
so awesome. So pleasure could be related to any of our five, six senses that we have, right? It could be about smell, wear a new perfume, or whatever it could be, right? Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because see, when you keep talking about the senses, and of course, I'm thinking of the clair senses,
Mm-hmm.
the clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clair
Mm-hmm.
sentience, clair cognizant, clair. You had your clair smell and your clair taste, and it's just amazing about once you allow yourself to be open to just experiencing new senses, new sensations.
Yes.
That's the key. um, I want to go back to what you just said about wearing the lingerie that only you know about. I remember hearing a story about when Gone with the Wind was being made, and they were getting all the costumes together, and the director was Olivia de Havilland, who plays Melanie in film. She was being fitted for her costume, and the director came in and said, "Well, we're going to be getting you the finest Venetian lace to make your petticoats." And this is 1938, 1939, so the beginnings of World War II were already happening
Mm.
in Europe. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's so going to be so expensive." He said, "Yes, that's fine." But she said, "But no one's going to see it." He said, "No, but you'll know it's there."
Yeah.
And so just that feeling of doing for you something that is beautiful and special, maybe luxurious, maybe it seemed luxuriant for you, but just to tap into something that is a little bit beyond your normal everyday
Yes.
routine. Again, expansion, liberation, right? You are liberating yourself from your habits, from your routines, maybe making new habits,
Yes.
maybe learning to love yourself a little more along the way, which would be so beautiful and wonderful. But it really is about trying something new every single day, trying something new in your sexual practice, because the reason why most people get into ruts sexually and sensually is because they do the same thing.
Yeah.
There's also the issue. I won't say problem. I'll say issue. Is that a lot of people use climax to, because it's exhausting, they use it to go to sleep.
Mm.
And so they use it as, okay, or my mind is still wired because I had too many frappuccinos, and now I've got to go to sleep because I've got to get up and go to work tomorrow. And so they use the climax, they use the sexual experience as a mechanical means of just to get tired and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So when they do get to a point where there's, some yummy, sexy time, even if it's for themselves, especially with a partner, then their body is going to react in the way that their body has been trained to react, which is in this maybe not as fulfilling physical explosion that's exhausting. And but that's because that's what the person may be doing all the time or most of the time. So if
Mm-hmm.
you get out of that and allow yourself the time, and this is what it takes. It takes time, it takes dedication, it takes practice, and a practice that you do on a regular basis to truly step up out of your habits and your usual experiences with climax and orgasm, to really understand that your body has so much wisdom. And if you just let your body teach you, but your body can't teach you if you're doing the same old thing.
Mm-hmm.
So having these new experiences, um, masturbating in a place you don't normally masturbate, not in public, don't get arrested, but but just being in a different place, redecorating your bedroom, uh, doing rose petals, candles, whatever works for you. And you're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm doing this at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. Why not? Do it, you know? And then when you get down into the tantric rituals and the tantric practice, then you can bring in a lot of different things to facilitate the arousal and the sex ritual aspect of tantric practice, because you have various things you're supposed to eat and drink, various things you're supposed to have, like a red cloth. Like it's not real, lingam or yoni puja if there's not a red cloth on the floor, you know. But yeah, just do different things every single day as you suggested, and it's amazing how that changes you, because there's excitement, there's adventure in that, when you get up and out of your regular routine.
Wow. So, what would you say to someone who is a busy mama,
Mm.
juggling all kinds of things? She's been running all day long, taking care of everyone and everything, and now it comes to the evening and she is exhausted. How can she bring that spicy pleasure back to her life?
Well, I hate to toot my own horn. No, I don't. But is that what I teach in my practice is that orgasm is available to you anytime you want it. You just have to think orgasm. You can orgasm. That what you find is that orgasm has such a regenerative power, because it's not climax. It's not based on the physical and the sympathetic nervous system. It's based on the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system operates all of your involuntary systems, right? So when you think of, wow, I can almost make orgasm an involuntary experience, so I can have orgasm anytime. I can have it whenever I want it. And that was because when I was coming across the different tantric practices and putting the different modalities together to create my flagship orgasm training program, which is called Awesome, by the way, um, what I found was that I was a single mom at the time, and so I was having to make sure I did my practice when my daughter was at school, because I work from home. And so that means I wasn't able to do it at nighttime. I wasn't able to do it when most people do have their sex or their relaxation time. I just couldn't do it, because I'm loud. And so I had to find a way to do around my busy schedule of working and being a single mom, raising a kid by myself, and then having her home right after school. And so what I if you commit to a training such as mine or someone else's, but if you commit to a training and do the practice, and you allow your body to show you what it's capable of, this ability to orgasm anytime you want to, you'll find that you can tap into that. That's why I focus on this so much, that orgasm is not just sexual, it's not just sensual, it's a frequency. Before you get that tired, why don't you step into orgasm?
Mm.
Because orgasm is an energetic frequency that is like this, like the old battery commercial, and it keeps
Mhm.
going and going and going. That's what orgasm does. And so rather than waiting till you get to that point where you are just so exhausted, and the idea of sex is exhausting, ladies, you know what that's like, right? Is that you're like, when you start to feel yourself getting tired, you shift into like, oh, the orgasm frequency. And you do that as I teach it, you can do that. And so you don't have to wait to get to that point of being so tired. And it's just, and then what you can actually do is that you can then feel all that and you relax rather than like falling into your bed and then you're just so exhausted and your body is so tired. This again, it regenerates all of your energy for you, and you can actually go to bed relaxed, sleep better, and wake up better. And when you were talking earlier, Alinka, about the benefits of orgasm, there's just so many. And getting better sleep, restful sleep, and waking up maybe without your alarm clock for the first time, and then not needing an alarm clock, it really does. It changes everything in the most beautiful, wonderful, helpful ways once you kind of incorporate some of these tantric modalities into your life.
Mm-hmm. I know that there have been also some researches done on how it's just healthy for our bodies, for our heart, for like all kinds of systems. Like it's just healthy. So yeah, let's go for it, ladies. I say, why not? Now, let's shift a little bit and let's talk about relationships, because when people talk
Mm.
about sex and they think about sex and Tantra, and like they imagine with a partner, right? But relationships, what's the most important relationship, would you say?
Oh, absolutely, the most important relationship you have is with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have a center of love and self-love and self-respect and self-worth and self-acceptance, notice how the first word is always self in that. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot get self-esteem outside of you. You cannot get self-love outside of you. You cannot get self-worth, self-acceptance outside of you. All of that begins within. This is something that I actually owe so much to my tantric practice because, like many people, women and men, I have experienced numerous sexual attacks and sexual trauma. And because I have been bullied and attacked for my breasts since I was 10 when they first showed up, I've always hated my breasts. I hated my breasts. I mean, I wanted them gone. I researched breast reduction for years and I finally decided on it. But for other reasons, it didn't happen. Of course, I'm so grateful now that it didn't. But I hated my breasts because of the way men attacked me and treated me for them, and the way they still treat me on social media, but now I don't care. But I did a tantric meditation where I put my hands on my breast. I won't get too graphic here, but I put my hands on my breast and I just really focused on how my breasts come from me outward, because my experience with my breast had always been men coming at them, right? And so I saw my breast as my enemy. But when I made that shift of my breasts come from me, my breasts are not my enemy, my breasts have been the victim this whole time. My breasts have been victims of all of this for 30 years. And it completely shifted how I thought about my breasts. And that shifted what I thought about myself and my body. And long story, I'll try to make it short. I gained a lot of weight when I was in postpartum depression after I had my daughter, lost the weight, was being attacked again and assaulted and just broken, whatever. And so I learned that by being overweight, I don't get attacked. Now, this is a fallacy. Women of all shapes and sizes can be assaulted, unfortunately, and we're trying to change that by trying to change the dynamic of the frequency here on planet Earth. But I I had to go through this process of loving myself as this very large person. And at my highest weight, I looked in my mirror and instead of sending negativity to my body of, oh my God, you're so fat. Oh my God, you're so ugly. You're so disgusting. I was like, wait a minute. My body gives me incredible orgasms. I can orgasm for 4 hours at a time and still feel energetic. I have to get up and do something else at that point. Otherwise, I'd still be in bed orgasming. like, wow, my body's amazing. My body's an orgasm machine. For that alone, I should love my body.
Mhm.
And it's like looking at my body at my heaviest weight, looking at my body in the mirror. It was the first time I've ever been able to look at my body with love and even reverence for what my body is capable of. And it was just like, my body is my vehicle, literally my vehicle for this lifetime. And um, why would I send anything other than the most reverent respect for my body? And if other people aren't respecting my body, at least I can. And so it was a huge shift. The tantric practice was a huge shift and allowed me to love myself, to love my body, um, however she looks, whatever size she is, and that, because I'm changing my perspective from the inside, it changes how I project my perspective of myself out here. And then other people have different, other people see me differently. They see me happier, they see me more confident in myself. So that relationship with yourself and doing your healing, which the tantric practice will bring it up, the wounds that, it'll open up some blockages, and it'll bring up things that you need to heal. And it's all so important for your overall healing as a human being. But yeah, definitely, who you are inside, that is the first and most important relationship you will ever have.
Wow, you heard it, ladies. It's healthy for you. We fall in love with ourselves. We take good care of ourselves. We give ourselves pleasure as we deserve. And that's how we become attractive. That's how we become like unstoppable, right? Like
Magnetic. You
magnetic.
become magnetic. Yeah. Yeah.
Magnetic. I love that. And so, Trish, I know that you have some really cool gifts for us today. What is it that you brought to our audience, to our ladies?
Well, I hope y'all like this. One of I have two gifts, actually, two. The first gift is going to be the 9-minute version of the meditation track that I composed, because, as you mentioned, I'm a composer. And this is the meditation track that I composed specifically for my orgasm program, Awesome, which stands for Awakening Energy and Sound Orgasm Meditation. And so the meditation part of this, I composed the meditation track, which I offer to my clients at 22 minutes and 54 minutes, and you're going to get the 9-minute version of that, to kind of help you ease your way into this new paradigm of what orgasm is and what orgasm can be for you. And
Mhm.
then the other thing that I have is a PDF. It's going to be some helpful tips and hints on how to anchor sacred sex into your life. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be simple. It can be easy. You just have to decide that, wow, I really want to do this. And these tips and tricks will be super easy for you to incorporate into your life.
Wow. Yes, yes, we want that. Thank you so much, Trish. Thank you for all that you shared. Thank you for expanding our possibilities for us. And
That's the key.
yeah, and I can wait. I can wait to tap into that and like really do some learning in this area, because it's important. It's important, ladies. So thank you all for participating. Thank you all for coming on the show today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening.